artho'yaṁ brahma-sūtrānām bharatartha vinirnaya Gayatri Vedartha paribrihitaha. The meaning of the Vedanta Sutra is present in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The full purport of the Mahabharata is also present in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The commentary of the Gayatri mantra is also there in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and is fully expanded with all Vedic knowledge. So, to the Vedic knowledge, the culmination is in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And the beginning of that is where? The culmination of the Vedic knowledge is in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Culmination. Where is the beginning to these? This is where it concludes. Where is the beginning? The beginning is Om, the sound Om. This is called the Bija mantra. Om is the seed. And where does Om find its origin? So often, understood. So often, people think of Om, they relate that to impersonalism. Om. The māyāvādīs have, to some extent, and then Hindu Vadis, they have sort of captured Om. They use it in all Hindu art and so many things. So sometimes devotees, they're thinking, oh, this is from Om, this is for impersonal Brahman. But actually, Om originates in the flute of Krishna. Krishna, he plays his flute. The sound of Krishna's flute enters the ear of Brahma, right or left? Huh? Right ear of Brahma. And then Brahma pronounces these 3-syllable Gayatri. Om. From Om, the Brahma Gayatri manifests. Brahma Gayatri. Om, Bhur, Sva, like that. This mantra manifests. This is called the mother of the Vedas. First the seed in Om. Then it manifests more definitively and more fully. And that is called the mother. From Gayatri, Brahma Gayatri, then all the Vedas, Vedic knowledge has manifested. And then finally the Vedanta Sutra, and lastly the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And how does Śrīmad Bhāgavatam end? Remind me to mention. So, they had to explain Vedanta Sutra in light of the full Gaudiya siddhānta. And in doing so, they actually revealed in Jaipur at that time that Gaudiya siddhānta is the full-fledged theistic religion. It is full-fledged theism, as never revealed before. Superior to that which was known to Śaṅkara, which was known to Rāmānuja, which was known to Madhva, to Bharta, Vaishnavism, and all others. That was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended to give. And along with his associates, that was the highest and most complete conception of theism. Theism means personal conception. So anyone can say, a Mormon can say, our religion is the highest. And all those who believe in Mormonism, they will accept it. So when a devotee is attracted to Krishna, and you tell him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conception is the highest, he will say, yes, it is. But if somebody is a Śrī Vaishnava, somebody is a Madhva Vaishnava, they don't have that simple faith. And when you say, Chaitanya Deva's conception is the highest, they will look you square in the eye, and they will say, prove it. When they say prove it, they mean according to the scripture, and they actually prefer if you talk in Sanskrit. It becomes very challenging at that point. And generally, we're not so learned. However, if we study this line of thought from Om to Gayatri, Veda to Vedanta to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, if we study that thought as it is given by our Acharyas, then just within the first sloka of Bhagavatam, within the Gayatri mantra or within Om, we can establish the Gaudiya conception. Defeat them. Defeat them in the sense that maintain the dignity of our sampradaya, which is given by our acharyas. If we are very expert in doing that, we needn't be drugged to so many other places. Debate, the opponent will try to drag you here and there to a place where he can defeat you. For example, in Mayavadi, he will not accept the Purānas. He doesn't accept the Purānas. If he accepts the Purānas, we've got him in a bear trap. Bear trap means you lock him. So they don't accept the Purānas. They will only deal with Vedanta and Upanishads. So, but once accepting Vedanta and Upanishads, they must also accept Gayatri. They must also accept Om. Actually, the Mayavadis, they try to avoid Om. Because throughout the Vedas, clear description of Om and Gayatri, these two things, is that these things are meant for worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are not meant for impersonal Brahman at any stage. It is actually said that every syllable Gayatri means Vishnu or Krishna. Every single syllable. Bhur, Bhuva, and Swa are names of Krishna from Vishnu's Sahasranam. And Om throughout the Vedas is heralded as the representation, the seed form of the personality of Godhead, Radha and Krishna. So, knowing this, Śaṅkarācārya, he just shifted a little to a secondary mantra called Tatvamasi. Tatvamasi. This is a secondary kind of mantra. Which place it came? It's there in the Sannyasa Upanishads, several places. The 180 Upanishads, 17 of them are called the Sannyasa Upanishads. In these Upanishads, some secondary mantras are given. This Tatvamasi. Tatvamasi means that I am of the nature of that. I am of the nature of that. That meaning the Supreme Brahman, Parabrahma. Śaṅkarācārya saw some scope there. I am of the nature of that. I am that. And he just gave a little adjustment to the mantra Tatvamasi. And he preferred Tatvamasi and not Om. When they come to Om, they'll be blocked. There is too much evidence that Om is an emanation of the Supreme Personality of God. It is the seed form, bija form of Radha and Krishna. But they just leave that and they go to a secondary mantra, which is meant to awaken the living entity's awareness of his nature as non-material substance. Living entities, they are also Brahman, means they are made of transcendental substance. So I am of the nature. So like this, they have done so much mischief. But Madhvacharya, Rāmānuja, they have dealt with Śaṅkarācārya most severely. In this way, they have paved the way for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will not have to deal so extensively with the Mayavādi conception. Still in the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many Mayavādis were there. And even after that time, so many Mayavādis were there. They're pests. They're like flies. Pesky little flies. Simply creating disturbance in society. But primarily they were already dealt with. Mahaprabhu dealt with them very, very quickly. In the case of Professor Nanda Saraswati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, actually, Madhvacharya, Rāmānuja, first Rāmānuja and Madhvacharya, they appeared to pave the way for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are actually performing service to Sri Chaitanya Dev by removing the impersonal calamity, impersonal conception. So they are accepted in the Vaishnava school, whereas Śaṅkarācārya is not accepted in the Vaishnava school. But he's also done a great service to Mahaprabhu. What did he do? He removed the Buddhistic conception, nihilistic conception, and he reestablished the Vedas as an authority. After Buddha, the Vedas were driven into obscurity. They were not accepted in any authorized circle of debate, of philosophy and such. Śaṅkara, by hook and by crook, drove the Buddhists from India and he reestablished the Veda. That is his contribution. Rāmānuja, he dismissed the impersonal conception and he established the worship of Lakshmi Narayana. And Madhvacharya, he further compounded that because in Rāmānuja, there's a little gray area where you're not quite sure what mukti is. Because there's some aspect of still merging is there. It's a little unclear. What actually is Madhvacharya, he established the Supreme Lord and the living entity are eternally individuals. There is no loss of identity or merging. But neither of these Vaishnava groups do they accept the full-fledged meaning of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. They accept Śrīmad Bhāgavatam only partially. Inasmuch as it defeats the māyāvādīs, they accept that. But fully, they don't accept it. Primarily, they maintain that Vishnu, Narayan, he's the Ashraya Tattva. He is the supreme shelter of all living beings. So in the most general way, we have no argument with that, yes. Narayan is also Krishna. They'll say, yes, Krishna is also Narayan. So, just socially, okay, that's okay. They are Vaishnavas, and we accept that. But, if we come very close, we'll find that we're in conflict. We're in conflict then with them. And they will not accept that Krishna is actually the Supreme Personality of God. Their own interpretations of this. They don't accept it in that way. That Krishna is the source of all incarnation. Then, what to speak of? And so, what to speak of the position of Krishna's devotees? They'll see you're not just worshiping Krishna. You want us to accept Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But actually you're worshiping Radha Krishna. We see this very clearly. It's apparent in your writing. It's apparent in your deities and all these things. So, how you will establish that? So, as we mentioned the other day, directly, Srimati Radharāṇī's name, we don't find in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We have got capacity to read all the Sanskrit slokas. Directly, we don't see Radharāṇī's name in Bhāgavatam. So, then we'll be asked, but if Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the conclusion of theistic thought, and you are worshipping Radha Krishna, then surely Radharāṇī must be in Bhāgavatam. But we look, how many slokas? 18,000 slokas? Nothing. We don't find any name there. Rādhārāṇī, Śrīmati Radharāṇī, not there. So how do you establish your puja and your bhagavad? You want to establish your Krishna, but we see along with your Krishna is Sri Radha. So how do you establish her? You want to establish him from this book. Om namo bhagavate vāsudevāya. Immediately the spoke the tongues, offering pranams to the son of Vasudeva. But how do you establish Radha? So then our acharyas have shown, according to Sanskrit poetry which goes by the name Alankar, hidden inferences. How the name of Radharāṇī is there, actually in innumerable places in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, couched within various other words, like Aradhana. Aradhana, this refers to Radharāṇī. Other words. So, that people they had to say, well, they'll have to say, yes, you could say that. They don't see that, and they don't feel that. But someone explaining all those verses, explaining the rules of Sanskrit grammar as pertaining to Alankar, we make one case. Yes, Rādhārāṇī is mentioned in numerous places, but one has to have the eyes to see that. That eyes to see that are only within our sampradaya. Other sampradayas do not have the eyes to see that because they are not connected to that. But they will not accept that part. Of course you'll say that. I'll say that about my parampara. You'll say that about your parampara. You have to prove it. And then they will come back to this point. And they will say that if Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is ultimately an explanation of the Gayatri Mantra, is it not? And we will say that yes. It is ultimately an explanation of the Gayatri Mantra. So then you know what they will say? They will say, well then if Srimati Rādhārāṇī is present in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, then prove it that she's present in the Gayatri Mantra. Understand? Because they all agree on this point, that Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the explanation of Gayatri Mantra. All the Sampradayas agree on this. And it's from this verse, artho'yaṁ brahma-sūtrānām, Bhanatartha Nirnaya, from the Garuḍa Purāṇa, that the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam contains Vedanta Sutra, Mahabharata, and it is the commentary. And all the commentators, even from Madhva, Madhva also comments that in the first verse of the Gayatri, the first verse of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the last word is dīnahi. Dīnahi. This word dīnahi, you never find it anywhere except in Gayatris or mantras which directly pertain to or describe Gayatri. So all the other sampradayas, their acharyas agree that because of this dīnahi, this means that Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a commentary on the Gayatri Mantra. Then they explain everything going up to Vishnu. They explain Gayatri is for worshiping Vishnu. So we're saying ultimately Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, because like I said, we're worshiping Radha Krishna. So they'll say, where do you get this from? How is that? But you have to show us in the ultimate pramana where you can establish Rādhārāṇī. You follow what I'm saying? So then we will show how Rādhārāṇī is in the Bhagavatam. They will hesitate to accept that, then they'll say, okay, Bhagavatam is dīnahi. It is explanation of Gayatri. So you show us where Rādhārāṇī is present in Gayatri. That is explained here by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Gopīnātha Thakur, Śrīla Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Pramod, Holy Goswami Maharaj, and some others. They will explain there in relation to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. In all such controversies, three things may be drawn as evidence. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. But in the most antagonistic debates, how we will quote Guru. They'll say, that's your Guru. That's not our Guru. Then we'll quote Sadhu. They'll say, that's your Sadhu. That's not our Sadhu. But Shastra, everyone accepts. From Śaṅkara to this day, everybody accepts Shastra. So that eternal truth is established throughout the Vedas. Throughout the Vedas, that the worship of Radha Krishna is ultimately the supreme occupation of all living beings. It is superior, actually, to the worship of Lakshmi. It is superior to the worship of Vishnu, or even Krishna alone. That is also not fancied by Mahāprabhu and his followers. So, then the end of the end. I mentioned the end of the end. Bhagavatam is the end of theistic conception, or the highest conception. What is the end of the end? Nam Saṅkīrtanam yasya sarva papa pranasana pranamo dukkha samanastam namami harim param. Nama Saṅkīrtanam. This is the last word, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Last sloka of Bhāgavatam says, now everything has been said. Now what you should do. I offer my most respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material sufferings. Here Śrīla Vṛndāvana-dhāma Maharaj writes that Papa means anomalies, all undesirable things. Not just Papa, or sin, Papa. That doesn't mean, somebody killed a chicken, that's Papa. Papa means all undesirable things. In one word, sin. Material enjoyment and liberation are also considered as sinful activities. Even liberation, moksha, is counted as a sinful activity. Why is liberation considered sinful? Because it is an abnormal condition. Our natural function is to serve Krishna, but we do not do that in salvation. There is no service to Krishna there, so mukti is just another type of sinful consciousness. Mere salvation does not include service to Krishna, so that is an abnormal position. Therefore, it is a sin. To ignore our natural duty, stand aloof, cannot be but sinful. The concluding verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam says, Krishna's holy name can relieve us from all undesirable sinfulness, all filthy characteristics, and all miseries. Let us bow down to him. Uttering this verse, the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam stops. So, in Vrindavan, there are only a few bona fide groups. Meaning, there are many sounds in Vrindavan. Very pleasant are the peacocks and the green parrots. But then we hear so many other sounds here. You hear some noises there, some music, and everybody is, it is the Vraj, it is the Vraj. However, if we go close to that sound, we might not find what we think. We may find something actually a burst. That which is very close to our own heart. That which is a verse to our divine conception of worshiping Brahma. Actually, as I mentioned the other day, Vrindavan is the home of the Gauḍīyas. It was revealed by Śrī Mahaprabhu, then Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunathas, Sri Jiva, Gopal Bhatta, and Raghunath Bhatta Swami. Under the direct border of Mahāprabhu, they expanded the Vrindavan by revealing the numerous places of Krishna's pastime. During the time of Mahāprabhu, the conversion of Prasananda Saraswati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Roy, the governor of over half of South India, came to become the personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupan Sanatan were ministers of Nawab Hussain Shah at Bengal. Jiva Goswami here preached to Akbar and so many kings of the region. The king of Jaipur came and surrendered to Sri Rupa, built that Gopīnātha Temple. From the potency of Mahaprabhu and his immediate followers and their followers, in this period of time we call medieval India, the popularity of Vrindavan was unknown. It was totally hidden at that time. Some idea was there. The Rāmānujas were saying Vrindavan is in South India. They don't know where, but they say it's in South India. And then, until the time of Mahaprabhu, this Vrindavan remained covered in unknown. After his time, the time of the Goswamis, they created, they brought Vrindavan to the vision of the world, the known world of India at the time. And they created, they brought much They brought Vrindavan to the attention of the world. This then created a sort of like social interest. It finally came to a point, if you don't have a connection in Braj, you are nowhere. If you don't have a connection in Vrindavan, you are nowhere. In that moment, everybody started to come from all over India. Every Sampradaya, they began to come to Vrindavan. Because in Vrindavan, there was a renaissance. And to get prestige along with that, they came to establish themselves here also. And they brought their many conceptions along with it. How do you have Ranganath here? We live in South India. We live in the island called Svetagri, Śrīmad, where the deity is 4,000 years old, of Ranganath. And what is Ranganath? What's Ranganath doing here? You got 150, 200 years ago, to join in the prestige and the glory of Vrindavan, the Sri Vaishnavas came here. And they leased a huge land from Govindaji. They established their worship of Ranganath here. Actually, they have little to no business in Vrindavan. Their business in Vrindavan is very, very negligible. That is our Narayana. He has become a Krishna. Explained. So they have some little interest there. But really, is that what Vrindavan is about? It's a place where Krishna came. Simply he played. No, of course he played. What did he show us in that play? And he played along with his devotees. What type of devotees? What is their devotion? When we begin to inquire about this, then the Vaikuṇṭḥa-bhaktas, they have no place here in that. So it was not for their inner sadhana and development that they came here. Some minute connection because they're considering Krishna's incarnation of the mind. They come. The real thing is they came for prestige. So many people came here to the Vraja for prestige. And in this way, you can go door to door in this town, knock on doors, temple doors, and ask pujaris, do you know about Rupa Goswami? I say, where does he live? He has some mutt here? I don't know if I met him. You would be surprised. How many people in this town never even heard of Rupa Goswami? On this Ventura Road, there's some mom, I forget, she used to live in the time of Rādhārāṇī Maharaj, some mom. She doesn't know anything. There's another man out there like the Daujī Temple, $2 million ashram. Considers himself a Radha Bhav Bhakta. He couldn't even spell Rupa. What does he would tell us what is Rupa? It's nothing of Lord Śrīkṛishna. But he professes himself as a great Bhakta of Rādhārāṇī. Because he has money just from copying. They can simply deity of Rādhārāṇī, deity of Rādhārāṇī, deity of Rādhārāṇī. There is no such authentic. We do not find that such thing in the writings of the Goswamis. Such conception is not there in the teaching of Śrī Vṛndāvana-dhāma. So much concoction. And look, and you'll see that there is so much concoction. And there are so many social events here. They have nothing to do with Braj. There must be 1,000 weddings a year in this town. Become a place for weddings, bombastic cinema music. Has nothing to do with the Braj. And when you go to all such weddings, and you look at all such social functions, and there is Rasa-lila dances going on in Jivan, and all these things are going on, you don't see any Gauḍīyas there. They are not participants in any of this. Because none of that has got any relation to the eternal Braj. In the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he came to create a second renaissance in Braj. He came and he created a revolution. Prior to his coming, none of the Babaji communities used to do Hare Krishna Kirtan. They only did japa, Mahamantra japa. They did not do Kirtan, Mahamantra. They did not do that. and all over Bengal, Orissa, and Vrindavan, they didn't do that. They only saw what's called Pradavali Kirtans. Pradavali means, songs of Narottam Das Thakur. They're singing the leaders of Radha Govinda. They don't do kirtan. Huh? Rasa kirtan. Saraswati said rasa kirtan. He rejected it wholesale. In his vision, they were all bogus. But he did not just go there all bogus. By seeing and hearing, no kirtan. What does that mean? The last sloka of Bhāgavatam says, nam Saṅkīrtana. Huh? Not just ras, Saṅkīrtanam, and all these things. So how you are a follower of the Bhagavad, which is the culmination of the Vedanta, which is the explanation of the Gayatri, which is the full-fledged form of the Om, how you are in the line of Mahāprabhu, you don't do kirtan, Chaito Dharmana Marjana, no purification of the heart. Huh? Mahaprabhu wrote, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Saṅkīrtana. Just twisting everything, doing no kirtan. He was so heavy in his preaching that in Vrindavan he closed the doors of the temples. And he did not allow his party to enter. Only one temple opened its door. It means the original temples, Govinji, Gopīnātha, Mohan, Radha Damodara, Radha Gokulananda, and Radha Shyamasundar, and Rādhārāṇī. These are the 7 main temples. Only one temple opened its doors, Rādhārāṇī. The temple of Rādhārāṇī opened its doors. And there are many Goswami families there. I forget his name. One of those Goswamis, big Goswami there, he came and he welcomes Saraswati Thakur with a big bang. And then all the Sankirtan party, they got in the temple, and in that courtyard where you go, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta was dancing with his Sankirtan party in front of God. And on that day, as the day was going, and some talks were given with this, he said, it's very wonderful that today I got darshan of all the Thakurjis of Vraja in one. I got darshan of Govindaji, Manu Mohanji, Gopīnāthaji, Shamsundarji, Gokulananda, Damodar, all in one, in Rādhārāṇī. So, but others closed the door. They had many objections. What is chanting? He's taking Harinam in the street. This is not right. And look, he's got non-Brahmins wearing this thread. They're not Brahmin by birth. And they had heard, he is allowing them to touch Shaligram. And they had a list of complaints as long as your arm against Saraswati Thakur. But when he was finished with his mission, Harinam was in everybody's town. Can you imagine? He defeated them so soundly that even the Sahajis, they had to start chanting Hare Krishna. Maybe they still did it in a Sahaji way, but they could not hide themselves anymore. They could not conceal the fact that they were bogus anymore unless they started doing non-Sankirtan. They started. And once Srila Bhaktivinoda Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, he wrote some poetries in Sanskrit. And what's that place? Not Kanban. Where did Guru Goswami write the Pancharasa Sindhi? Kadamba. Kadamba. And he wrote some slokas. And they put in some marble and they fixed in the wall. Well, one of those slokas was glorifying Saraswati Thakur, that he has smashed all Sahaji conception. So later, when all the devotees went away, the Sahajis came with the hammers and the bars, and they cracked out that book. They could not tolerate. They left those other plaques there. The nice person. But that one, they couldn't tolerate. They were soundly, thoroughly defeated by Saraswati. But defeated does not mean they actually changed their conception. Many of them just went into hiding. And they did not surrender to any higher conception, proper conception. They went on with their self-deceiving business. But to some extent, he checked their public influence, how much they would deceive the public chief. Gaudiya Maṭha rose up all over Bengal, Orissa, Assam, all the way up to Kurukshetra, and it became the dominant spiritual influence. But in hiding, they keep these things going on, and they have cultured few disciples, or a handful of disciples. They got a little bit of education. Now they're sending those disciples all around the world, here and there on the internet. They're in Europe, they're in America, they're in France, they're in Australia. And again, they're preaching their same old business. What they were doing before the time of Śrīla Narasiṅgha. So, yes, so those are just some points I wanted to make in relation to Om, Gāyatrī, the Vedanta, Bhāgavatam. What is the meaning of Bhāgavatam? Ultimately, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam announces the highest, many things are announced there. True, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we say Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Actually, it is written by Goswamis. I think in Gopal Champu and other places, directly is mentioned. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. You follow me on that? So then one question comes. If our Krishna is not the Krishna of Mathura, he's not the Krishna of Dwarka, if our Krishna is only the Krishna of Braj, Braja Kishore, Nanda Kishore, son of Nanda, that is our Krishna, then why does the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam begin with Om namo, bhagavate, vāsudevāya, the son of Vasudeva? The son of Vasudeva is in Shri. So, for a long time I thought, there must be something. I mean, the son of Vasudeva is Vasudeva. He's not in Braj. He's out of Braj. He's in the Vaikuṇṭha. He's not in the Goloka, Dwarka. That's the son of Vasudeva. So, what is the reason for that? Can anyone remember? Huh? What is the meaning?
He is living in all places.
Who is?
Living in all places.
Living in all places.
All places.
So I found a very nice reference from Rupa Goswami. Maharaj is saying because it is not wrong, because Vrindavan actually is everything. Within one grain of sand in Vrindavan, all the Vaikuṇṭhas and all the Brahmandas, they may be found within the sand of Vrindavan. So Krishna is everywhere. But still this Vasudeva. Then one day I found in Radha Krishna Gamandesha Rupa Goswami, he's describing the family of Krishna, his grandparents, residents of Vraja. It's a very nice, beautiful description. And there, he's mentioning that Nanda Maharaj, he's related to Vasudeva. Vasudeva. And they're what? Cousin brothers. Cousin brothers. So there it says that Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, they are so close. They are such bosom friends that Nanda Maharaj, he is also known as Vasudeva. So, that Om namo, bhagavate, vāsudevāya, that actually means the son of Nanda Maharaj. Not the son of Vasudeva. So, for as often as people try to find some doubt about the ultimate Gaudiya siddhānta, as in history, as often as they have tried to disprove Saraswati Thakur at this age, Bhaktivinoda Thakur at the turn of the century, the devotees at the time of Vishwanath, devotees at the time of Jiva Goswami, there were pundits, they attacked Jiva Goswami, like anything they attacked him. They also attacked him centuries later. Vishwanath defended him. This business of finding new ways to attack Gaudiya siddhānta, attack the conception of Mahāprabhu, attack the conception of the six Goswamis. He is going on and on. I'm telling you, they crack their heads to figure out how to crack our siddhānta. They even send people within our sampradaya to study our books, even to take initiation, and to go back to the other sampradayas and tell what they've learned, and try to put a screw into our conception. For as often as they do that, they are defeated again and again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the embodiment of full theistic conception. He is the embodiment of Rasaraj, Mahabhav, Dvaita. He is the embodiment of both Radha and Krishna. And lastly, the Gayatri we say actually worships Śrīmad Mahaprabhu. Gayatri mantra worships Mahaprabhu. And ultimately, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam also heralds the position of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and the advent of the Saṅkīrtana movement for this dark age of Kali. So, even after accepting so much of that, there's a section they want to do Shmanana. Shmanana means remembrance. They want to only think about the Leela of Krishna and do some japa. Japa is not Saṅkīrtana. Saṅkīrtana means in the groove. In the groove. They want to do Smarana. If Smarana was recommended as the process to achieve perfection and to enter into the eternal plane of Krishna consciousness, then the last thing the Bhagavatam would have said for the benefit of the world is Smaranam ki jai. It would have recommended Smaranam, but the Bhagavatam did not. And who is the Bhagavatam? The Bhagavatam is himself the personality of God, literary incarnation, personality of God. And his last word is Nam Saṅkīrtana, chanting, congregational chanting of the holy. So, time to close the class. Gopīnātha.
うん。